Welcome to our Ambassador Interviews webzine. My name is Yvonne Kim, and I'm the Executive Director of Asia Society Korea. Today, it is my honor to interview Ambassador of Estonia, His Excellency Sten Schwede. His Excellency Sten Schwede is Estonia's first in-residence ambassador to Korea, and he arrived here in August 2021. Ambassador Schwede has been working at the Estonian Ministry of Foreign Affairs since 1997. And prior to his ambassadorship in Seoul, he was director of the Fifth Bureau in the political department of the Foreign Ministry between 2018 and 2021. Previously, he was the Estonian ambassador to Czech Republic, Slovenia, and Croatia. Ambassador Schwede also served as the Consul General of New York between 2011 and 2014. Your Excellency, Happy New Year, and thank you for joining us today. As the first in-residence ambassador from Estonia, what are some memorable highlights from your time in Korea so far?
Happy New Year. I hope you can hear me. Thank you for having me. And I'm gladly presenting my country to your viewers. And it's an honor actually to be part of this. You asked what the highlights of my career are. Well, first of all, it is actually the chance to serve my country here in this country, in Seoul, in the capital of Republic of Korea. That's the highlight I can come up with right now. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you, and we're really pleased to welcome you to Korea. And I would like to start today's conversation about the relatively young bilateral relations between the two countries. Estonia and Korea have strengthened diplomatic relations in the past 3 years through a presidential visit in 2018, the 30th anniversary of bilateral relations celebrations, and the deployment of the first in-country Estonian ambassador. So how do you see the economic and cultural partnerships developing in the future?
Thank you for the questions. Yes, you are right. We just celebrated the 30th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. But looking back, I think we have come very far in these last 3 decades, and we can actually report of very tight links, growing trade, growing people-to-people contacts. So things are actually looking very good. And you are right that in last 4 years, it has intensified even more. We have had high-level visits. We just opened an embassy here in Seoul, and we have our hands full, if I may put it this way. There's a lot going on.
And how many Estonians are residing in Korea right now?
There are very few actually, but we are working on it. It's with pandemic hopefully receding, I think we can have more people over. But what we have is, of course, students going both ways. There are students studying at your universities and Koreans in Estonian universities, and it's no wonder, because both countries actually rank very highly in education. Education ranks. We have very good universities, both South Korea and Estonia.
Well, that's great to know. And I really hope that this pandemic crisis is going to be over soon so that we can have a more active relationship. Estonia recently ranked 3rd in the United Nations e-government survey due to its cutting-edge digital platforms. And how have Estonia and Korea partnered to advance their digital technologies? And what are some areas for future collaboration?
Yes, you are right. We rank very highly at different digital rankings, but so does South Korea. So yes, we see great potential here. Most of my, if not all of my meetings, my presentations here in this country are about our e-government, our e-services, our ease to do business attitude in Estonia, trying to avoid too much bureaucracy. So we are very proud of it. In fact, 99% of Estonian public services are online. The only thing you cannot do online is to get married or get divorced. That's pretty much what there is left. And of course, I tell that also here to your organizations, agencies, people in this country. But we don't lecture South Korea, and we don't really tell South Korea how your government should organize its society digitally. What we do, we approach Korean businessmen and businesses, digital nomads, with our digital services. And I'm talking about something we call e-residency. Just like us in Estonia, Estonians, also foreigners can actually obtain a digital chip card, a digital ID card to use our public services. And that actually allows the card holder to open a business in Estonia, to open a bank account in Estonia, through e-notary, public notary actually to buy property in Estonia. So this is what kind of defines our link, our digital relations with this country pretty much right now, bilaterally. But digital can mean so many other things. And of course, Estonia is part of the European Union. And I know that European Union is actually preparing a digital partnership agreement with South Korea. So there is a bigger context where, of course, Estonia is also always actively involved, as we are the leading nation in the European Union in digital policies. Of course, going back to e-residency, the point, of course, for South Koreans to obtain an Estonian e-residency is exactly the fact that the European Union, Estonia is part of European Union single market. So once you establish a company in Estonia, you can actually trade your goods or services that you produce with this within this company in Estonia. You can market them in the European Union. So it kind of opens you the market, and Estonian digital signature is valid throughout Europe, and so in many other countries too. And going back to your first question, where you asked like what business links business relations are there awaiting in the future. This is what we see as a great opportunity also for Korean investors. So just to look at Estonia, to invest in Estonia, to see it as a hub for their business, and then as a platform to do business with Europe.
I see. And Korea is also a highly technologically advanced country, but lately a lot of people have been concerned about privacy issues. How do you face any problems with cybersecurity at all?
Of course we do. All countries that have advanced digitally have cyber defense issues too. That's clear. So it has to go hand in hand, parallelly. You have to develop also your capabilities in cybersecurity. and of course team up with other countries that are good at this, including South Korea. So you might know that there is actually a NATO Center of Excellence in Tallinn. It works on cybersecurity issues. So we have all NATO countries working with us, and then our allies outside this center working with us, including South Koreans.
I see. And how has Estonia been utilizing these innovative technology to stay resilient during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Very good question. Again, yes, I mean, well, the starting point was good anyway, because people don't really have to go and line up at public offices or to talk to officials, to bureaucrats, to public servants. So you can do those things without leaving your home. So the starting point was good, but of course we realized that we could do things even better. So what we did when the pandemic arrived in Estonia, and actually it started with a state of emergency in the spring of 2020. Government teamed up actually with the Estonian IT community, and legal hackers, again, like digital experts, and they together developed many of those apps that you also see in other countries. But later, these kind of hackathons, which we had then, like day after day, week after week in spring 2020, later actually many other countries, up to 20 countries, if I remember correctly, copied those hackathons. Because it's always good actually for government to ask what people want. And through this kind of IT community, just normal IT people joining up, they could actually map out what was needed and actually react much faster. So I can also give you some examples. They developed a something called Corona Map, which actually in real time gave you statistics in different municipalities in Estonia, and it's still run by an NGO or like a group of digital nomads, if I may say. And then there was a chatbot also created that was then inserted into public websites to answer people's questions about COVID in 3 different languages, in Estonian, English, and Russian. Because in the beginning, when it was a big unknown, the questions actually were the same. I mean, like you get thousands of similar questions: where to ask, where to buy mask, where to go and test, where to fill your sick leave application. So it could be automated, and this is what we did.
That sounds amazing. I'm going to now turn the topic to a different one. Both Korea and Estonia occupy geopolitically challenging areas. And as the tension between Russia, China, the EU, and the United States grows, what can the 2 countries learn from each other as they navigate economic, political, and most importantly, security challenges?
I don't know if we have to really learn from each other. I think we are well off. Both countries are quite good, because what's important is, of course, resilience, and resilience as a democratic country where you have a rule of law. People's voices are heard, and of course you have to team up with other democratic countries, free world, if I may say so. And then of course you are much better off than the others. And having said that, of course, you have to talk to each other, share your experiences. This is what we do with all our allies, including South Korea. And you, of course, we mentioned that already, but it's about cybersecurity. So if you're a digital nation in a hostile environment being attacked regularly, I mean, attacked online, your systems are attacked regularly, then you just have to invest into cyber defense. It goes without saying, to protect your data, to protect your people, their privacy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and the final question is one of my favorite topics. It's been almost 6 months since you arrived in Seoul, and which Korean foods do you enjoy the most? And do you have a go-to dish from Estonia to cure your homesickness?
That's a difficult one, because I'm this type of person that actually likes everything. So I love Korean food. But if I have to mention some, I would actually mention the blood sausage soup.
Which soup?
I really like it. It has blood sausage inside. Blood sausage soup. It's like pieces of, so all kinds of soups you serve. I just love them. Be it with seafood or meat. So all those ramen type of soups. But the food I miss sometimes, and luckily we can also find it here in Seoul, is of course boiled potatoes, roasted pork, sauerkraut, with pickled cucumbers, and always with sourdough based rye bread, black bread. That's a typical Estonian food, which we love always.
And that's a beautiful painting you have in the background. Is that your hometown? Is that where you're from?
Yes, the background photo really is actually of Tallinn, the capital of Estonia. I'm from Tallinn myself, and of course I urge all Koreans to come and visit this medieval city by the sea. It's beautiful.
And how long is the flight from Seoul to your capital? Are there direct flights yet?
There are no direct flights, but you can very easily approach us through Helsinki, taking Finnair flights, and it's 8 hours, eight and a half, 9 hours, I guess. And the last bit from Helsinki to Tallinn is 20 minutes by plane. Easy.
Okay, and one last thing that I would like to ask you, when is the best time of the year to visit your country? It is
definitely July, beginning of July, when we still have white nights, so it doesn't really get dark, and summer is nice, warm and dry. So
great to know.
Visit us in July.
We will do that. Well, that's all we have for today. So, Your Excellency, thank you very much again for taking the time to join us. And once again, you have our warmest welcome to Korea. And please don't forget that you have friends at Asia Society that you can always reach out to in case you ever need anything. Thank you, Your Excellency, and I hope your New Year's off to a good start. Happy New Year.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.